Cet homme a tourné quelques-uns des plus beaux films d'Hollywood. Joseph Mankiewicz, l'un des derniers grands auteurs complets d'Hollywood, est un immense cinéaste qui a réalisé des œuvres à la mise en scène limpide et élégante et au scénario d'une intelligence raffinée. Soudain l'été dernier, Chaîne conjugale, Jules César, L'affaire Cicéron, Cléopâtre, Le fantôme de Mrs. Muir et ses deux chefs-d'œuvre absolus que sont La Comtesse aux pieds nus avec Ava Gardner et All About Eve. Son dernier film, Le Limier, date de 1972.
What did you intend to express in your films? And which are the characters that you feel very close to?
Well, that I've always found it a very pompous thing for a director to say. You know, this is the director wears his jacket over his shoulders and smokes a cigarette roller. And yes, I said, my films say this and my films say that. Usually, when a film is one that I want to make, and I make it properly, there's someone in there through whom I let my opinion be expressed. In All About Eve, for example, it would be the George Sanders part. And he'd said to saying that when Marilyn Monroe says to him, tell me, do they have auditions in television? And he says, that's all television is, my dear, nothing but auditions. That's my comment when he talks about the great actresses he's known and the theater. I usually, because the films I like to make are the films that involve people and their involvement with each other, not so much against society as against each other. Those are the films I like to make, and therefore I can't resist having my own opinion expressed by one of the actors or another.
And in the Barefoot Contest, Humphrey Bogart's character...
Harry Dawes, yes.
Is very close to you?
Harry Dawes, you see, because Harry Dawes, I feel great sympathy for Harry Dawes. Harry Dawes, and there's a book I want to write, a novel about Harry Dawes, the life of Harry Dawes. Mm-hmm. And I want to call it Harry Dawes Available. You see, we have a habit in films, one has when you write about a director, it's always about a great director. When you write about an actress, it's always about either a great actress or a starving young girl that wants to be a great actress. Most actresses are not either great or starving. They barely make a living. Most directors turn out whatever is given to them. It's a work, it's a job. And even in your profession, you know, there are stars that walk in, you know, and say, oh yes, sir, I will choose whom I interview, and they're the ones who work at it. And day in, day out, have to turn out interviews with people, and very often very stupid people, or like me, long-winded, never stop talking. And Harry Dawes was a fellow who directed. I thought he was just a director, a Hollywood, run-of-the-mill director. And I liked him. Well, he had a problem with drinking, and this money man knew it and rubbed on him, you know, tried to taunt him into drinking again. And the press agent said made cruel remarks. I liked Harry Dawes. I liked the average man, and I liked his problems. On the other hand, I also like people who speak well and think.
Why did you stop making films after Sleuth?
Sleuth?
Yes, Sleuth.
Yes, that's had a very strange ending, Sleuth. It belongs now to a multi-billion-dollar organization called Bristol Myers. They make drugs, you know, chemical things. And it's an annoyance to them. And they have decided not to show it anymore. I wasn't pleased with what happened to the result, because I wound up on a shelf next to laxatives and headache powders. But why haven't I directed since?
Yes.
Nobody has asked me to. Very simple. I haven't enough money to make a film. And this is what is strange. I have never learned how to say, all right, I want to make this. Now I have to go out and raise the money. I can assure you, I couldn't go out and ask for money to make a film if my life depended on it. I have never learned that. That in itself is an art. When I look at my colleagues, they all know where they're going to go for money. I wouldn't know where to go to raise enough money to go back to New York. Let's just make a film. I once wrote an allegory. You know what an allegory is? It's a fable. Once upon a time, this is to answer the question that is always asked from somebody. And tell me, what does a producer do? And I wrote this story in order to answer that question. What does a producer do? And I wrote, once upon a time, a producer, a writer, and a director. They were out in the desert looking for locations, and they were lost. They didn't know where they were. And they wandered around, they got more and more exhausted. And the producers said, or they all said finally, this is silly. Why do we wander around together? Let us go separately. The writer go his way, the director and the producer are separate talents, and see if we can find help. And the writer staggered on, and suddenly he saw a very large stone in the sand. And with his last bit of strength, he pushed his stone away, and there was a very large tin of tomato juice. Untouched by the sun. And he looked at this thing, and he held it up. And he says, look, I, the writer, have found this matter of which we will live. We will live, we will live. I have found the basis for our living. And the director heard this and came over, and he said, it is true. You have found the basis. But I, the director, and he pulled out his knife, I, the director, will open this tin so that we can participate in the nourishment from it. And with his last bit of strength, he opened the tin of tomato juice, and they were about to drink when the producer came up. And he said, stop. First, I, the producer, must piss in it. You understand? And that, madam, is what a producer does.